Hey everybody, CreamCrazy here, and again, I apologise for the lateness of this video, and, well, sleepiness and drowsiness really does hinder us all. And no, the video didn't just freeze, that's just what I do. Also, you may also realise, I'm actually wearing a shirt that has the word fail on it. Believe it. That's what happens when you get brought a t-shirt back from America, and just randomly, there's a fucking penguin on it. So therefore, the fail cancels itself out. But you know why I'm here. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is the 13th in the news bulletin. My weekly wrestling news roundup. And I hope you've all hopefully let the delay slide. I've been entertaining you on Facebook with my top 10 pay-per-view promos. It all should be going along nicely. And I hope this big news bulletin, well, would I say big? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9 stories. Not the biggest it's ever been, but still, I feel these are quite substantial. Kinda substantial, because amazingly today, nothing has really broken. Believe that. Before I get to these news stories, can I tell you guys something awesome that you may not have known? If you did, well, I must have already told you. But I'm going, on February the 25th, Leicester Square Theatre, I'm going to see Mick Foley's stand-up. Yeah! Get to see the hardcore legend put his funny on. But also, there's a meet and greet before the show. I get to have a picture taken with the hardcore legend himself. Epic win! No fail in sight. This is epic win. And that's, I'm so happy I get to see that. And you also, I'm just so happy. Because that's something I'm going to be saying, yeah, I can tell people I met Mick Foley. So, should be fun. That's nearly a month away. That's over just under a month away now, isn't it? So let's get on with the news. And let's see if you guys haven't heard some of this before. You probably have, but then again, I'm just living what I see. One of the biggest news stories of the week, Money in the Bank has been removed in another set of revisions to WWE's 2012 pay-per-view schedule, which has been flipping around like a hot potato over the past couple of weeks. TLC has replaced Money in the Bank in the July slot of the calendar, as the WWE want to bring the Money in the Bank match back to WrestleMania. TLC will be replaced by Bragging Rights in the December slot, which I bet a lot of you knew by now. And shockingly, this is a major shock actually, that Fatal 4-Way has returned in the calendar in the June slot in place of Capital Punishment. Okay, now I'm going to explain this. Money in the Bank, despite it last year being one of the greatest pay-per-views of the past 10 years, we know that the Money in the Bank deserves to be at WrestleMania. That 2 matches was too much. And for the most part, it's good to keep a great match, which always gets us excited, back to its original home. Because who wouldn't want to see that, you know? Who wouldn't want to see Money in the Bank at WrestleMania? Everybody wants to see that. And that basically means now, when I go to WrestleMania in a year or two's time, I will definitely be able to say I've seen the crazy pandemonium that is Money in the Bank. Awesome. Bragging rights in December, I've always thought was a good idea. My WWE 12 pay-per-view schedule has it exactly there, because it's that awesome. I think it's great. At the end of the year, you can effectively say Raw v SmackDown, who is better. That actually plays into the hands of everybody. You have storylines finishing by Survivor Series. Then you have Raw guys versus SmackDown guys in multiple matches, and bam! You then get to find out who is the best brand in the entire year. That's just great. Fatal 4-Way could work out, because I always thought if they tweaked, I know it's Fatal 4-Way, but if they made it a little more interesting, like a Fatal 4-Way cage match or something like that, just to give it a bit of extra spice, then we could actually see something useful. Or maybe making it a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. Something like that. Something that gives us interested. I mean, Capital Punishment was a shit idea to begin with. But apart from that, I mean, the only thing I would really remove is Hell in a Cell. And I'd probably keep I would remove Hell in a Cell pay-per-view altogether. And probably bring back, No Mercy, I think. And that would probably basically do me. I'm fine with the pay-per-view schedule as it is. Elimination Chamber, I like in its current placing. I like TLC as a pay-per-view because the match still shines in its own way. If you watch this past year's event, you'll see what I mean. The Wrestling Observer newsletter has reported that the WWE is planning to hold a focus group for 12 to 17-year-olds in New York to hopefully get suggestions from them and understand why the number of WWE viewers in that demographic has worsened in the last couple of years. Yeah, that wide-eyed expression that probably sums up what the hell I'm probably going to say now. Because here's an example from this week's Raw, okay? Raw ranked the second highest in the 18 to 34, 18 to 49 male demographics, right? While the 12 to 17 age group did rise by 29% for this week's show, it is still 27% lower than a year ago. Now, why is that? Now, I'm thinking to myself, this is a stark realization that we should not shout all of our negativity at the PG era for making it a kids' show. Because look at this. Look at this. It shows that the age group that a PG rating would normally target, well, I would say that. That's what you'd say that age range would target from a PG rating. It shows that it's not even appealing to them. And that really got me thinking. That made me think, well, hold on a second. You've changed the PG rating, but the audience, the target core demographic, is not actually watching. It proves that all of us fans, all of us IWC smarks who believe we're better, are still the ones watching. No matter how many times WWE is trying to bring in a new audience, they aren't interested. So even with a PG rating supposedly appealing to them, it kind of shows WWE is out of touch with the demographic. Because if you look at modern day cartoons, modern day programs for the older, say, 14 to 17 demographic, you can see that a lot of them have crude humor, a bit of some absurd language in some way. They'll find a way to get around that loophole, and a bit of violence in there. Movies too. You see kids and teenagers watching shows like NCIS and The Wire, and even I'd say Castle, because it is a ponage show. But you look at that and you think, is WWE out of touch to take something which is so common, which is the violence, the blood, the crude language, the crude actions, which, to be honest, a lot of people have seen in that age group from 12 to 17. Is it actually the fact that WWE just have realised they don't understand what a modern day 12 to 17 year old is interested in anymore? You know? Is that the case? Is it because they still have to go to bed at 9 o'clock and they have absolutely no need to watch Raw or have any way of DVRing it? I have no clue. All I know is this is a sign, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't normally criticise the PG, knowing how many times I've said don't criticise it. But in this case, when the facts are right there, you really want to start thinking maybe they jumped the gun on making it family friendly without kind of studying the aspects of the lifestyles of the core demographic, with basically not conforming to stereotypes is the most easy part, you know? Because the world changes quite a lot out there, you know? FCW starlets Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose have apparently been given main roster spots by Triple H, but they just haven't been on TV yet. You want to know why, all of you people shouting at my TV screen? Well, this is down to Triple H saying that he only wants them both on TV once creative puts out a strong gimmick and storyline together for them. And you know what? Bravo. That is great. Simply awesome. You know why? Because that's how you fucking do it. You give a guy a gimmick. You then give a guy a feud to go into. Carlito, for example, was built up on these nice, calm video promos, came out and basically beat John Cena cheating, and he spat apples in people's faces, saying they weren't cool. It set everything up for his career for the next 2 or 3 years. And you've got to give them that. You can't just put squeaky, clean guys with no gimmick like they did on NXT. You can't give them that. You can't just bring out guys like Mason Ryan and Husky Harris with nothing. I mean, Sheamus had nothing, but he soon became a ridiculously aggressive monster. You've got to give them something. And the fact is, Rollins and Ambrose are bloody good wrestlers. You haven't checked out any of their stuff on FCW, I advise do so, because one time I did and I was impressed. Fuck it, I even checked on ROH for Seth Rollins' work, or Tyler Black as he used to be known as. And I feel it's great that Triple H understands that they need to have people, especially in these two guys, with their substance. They need to give them something, so these guys don't just fade into obscurity like the others have. These guys could make it and be the future of the WWE. So this is great. This shows Triple H's way of working. Maybe we shouldn't doubt him. Maybe we shouldn't doubt Triple H at the head of creative. Maybe we shouldn't doubt him in the COO position backstage. Maybe we shouldn't worry when Mr. McMahon finally manages to croak. You never know. WWE is toning down its noted use of Twitter all over Raw. This is due to people backstage having a change of heart regarding its heavy promotion on air. Therefore, they're only keeping the graphics of trending topics on the screen with barely any mention at all to stop it dwarfing the program. And I'll show you what I mean, because I think it was a Raw, but somewhere between November and December. And I remember there was not much going on. And all I heard Michael Cole go on about, talking about matches, the superstars, the promo segments, everything, he was talking about Twitter non-stop, and we all got pissed off, didn't we? And I bet all of you out there were all thinking, has the WWE gone mad that they focus more on social media status than they do? Sorry, I've got to get my hat in the right place. There we go. Are they more focused on social media stature than they are putting their product on? And I think now that they've realised coupling Michael Cole's heel character with Twitter is not a good thing. And they realise, and I like it when they say trending topics online. I don't use Twitter, but it's just fun to know what people are really interested in, you know? Gives a slight snippet into what the demographic of WWE's main big audience really feel they want to see based on what's trending, yeah? It's fun. And if you use Twitter out there, you can find Cream Crazy on there. I just don't use it. I did have Twitter, I used it for 2 or 3 posts, and I just forgot all about it, so you can find me, you can add me, but nothing's going to happen, you know? Whew. Seriously, Twitter? I wouldn't normally go that far, but Twitter sucks. Facebook is the way to go. Skype is the way to go. You want to add me? Information is in the description box. I'll mention it at the end of the video. William Regal tweeted on Sunday, which is a long time ago now. I probably shouldn't have used this story, but I compiled this late last week. William Regal tweeted on Sunday wanting Daniel Bryan, his former student and current world heavyweight champion, to give him a title shot. William Regal stated that I've never asked Daniel Bryan for anything but my help and guidance over the years. Well, he's never asked me for that. That's probably why I don't know if he maybe said it wrong, but that's what he put down, to bear with me. So now perhaps it's time. I still want to be the first English world champion. I'd like Daniel Bryan to grant me a title shot. WWE, pay attention. He responded further after people replied to that original tweet, doubting his ability, with Regal replying, saying it seems as though a lot of people think the same. One thing though, I don't deserve a title shot, but I want one. Some people think I'm not up to it. People have been counting me out for years, but I can still wrestle as good as anyone in the world. And you know what? I fully agree. William Regal, one of the best pure wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of boots, and to be honest, good mic worker for what he is. Ugh, it's late at night, my tongue's starting to let go. But nonetheless, I think he definitely deserves it. I'd love to see Regal become the first British world champion. English, British. Fuck it. Drew McIntyre isn't going to reach it, neither is Mason Ryan, so I might as well say British. Yeah, Scottish independence, go fuck yourself. You ain't go and get it. I just think he deserves it. Actually, I wouldn't mind if Wade Barrett does it, really, knowing the push he's been on, but we may have to wait till Sunday for that. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Tommy Dreamer has come out in an interview with RadarOnline.com stating that he saved CM Punk from being fired twice. He said, Dreamer said this, he had little to no chance of ever making it in the WWE. He wasn't their type of guy. I saved his job 2 times when he was about to let go. I was saying, you got to keep this kid. You got to keep this kid. Now, the validity of this story, in my opinion, is a bit jaded. However, if you know Tommy Dreamer's status in the wrestling world, put his body on the line quite a bit, highly emotional about the industry, loves it to the bone, and will be willing to do anything. He's got a legacy in his own right. And I feel this has legitimacy to it, because he'd probably be one of those guys who would be respected in terms of this stuff. And you know what? I don't think Punk was going to ever be let go. I mean, he came to them in 2005 and debuted in mid-2006. So I think, you know what? I don't think it was ever going to happen, but then again, I am a Punk fan. I think Dreamer may have a point there, because Punk definitely isn't WWE's type of guy. So I could say he may be right. I'm not entirely sure there, but maybe. I don't know. I think that little excerpt, that little blip of Tommy Dreamer's speech there, I don't know. What do you guys think? These stories are all open to interpretation. Down there in the comments section, you know where to type your things. The Divas of Doom, Divas champion Beth Phoenix and Natalya were asked in an interview with WWE Magazine, yes, the most biased piece of WWE propaganda you're ever going to find. Please make a note of that if you don't already. And they were asked what kind of male stipulation match they would want to see the Divas compete in. Both responded, suggesting the ladder match. Natalya said that she wants to compete in the first ever Divas ladder match, stating that Beth and I would be amazing and we could really pull it off. Phoenix added her opinion, saying that she considers herself a pioneer of the ladies ladder match. I find it weird she said ladies right there. Nice one. They're not Divas. Because if you check out the Ladder Matches 2 Crash and Burn DVD, it actually features my match in OVW. I've been campaigning for WWE to let me compete in one, and have even volunteered to put my Divas title on the line in it against absolutely anybody. I have experience and truly believe the bar could be raised by the bout. I think I know that Trish Stratus and Victoria were in a hardcore match. I know that Lita and Trish were in a cage match. Or was it Lita and Victoria? It was a cage match. I believe also that a ladder was used in a hardcore women's match at some point during the mid-2000s. I would love to see a Divas ladder match, because it would show the Divas are not overprotected, wrapped in bubble wrap sweetie pies, basically. You know? It doesn't make sense how they basically can't take much damage because their bodies are the asset, so to speak. So if they actually really feel, if the men and the women feel they need to be on the same page, equality law coming in here, if they want to do it, all they have to do is say, I'm willing to make as much sacrifices and as much as the men do, basically, to prove my point that I've done enough to get the respect I need around here. They need to be able to show, and if they do this, imagine, say, a Money in the Bank style ladder match for the Divas Championship. Imagine you have the best female wrestlers in there. Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Tamina, I definitely think would be in that kind of match. Kelly possibly, and then probably Karma when she comes back. Think about that for a second. That would be something I'd watch, just to see what kind of risks they'd take. And I know Beth Phoenix using the Glam Slam off the top rope was the biggest risk they've done in about 4 years, but you kind of think they need to up the bar. And if it leads to a ladder match, I will go for it. You two, Beth and Natalya, you're doing a right thing by suggesting that. Do it. Do it, man. Woman. Sorry. Tongue again going. Speaking of divas, former WWE diva Maryse has finally revealed in an interview with TVA Sports, I think French Canada, why, I have no idea why that exists, but hell, that's what random history does. And she revealed why she was released. And we were all wondering for a while, was she exhausted? Was she not willing to do the work anymore? I don't know. We were all kind of wondering. She said that her departure occurred due to WWE offering her a 5-year contract, which she didn't want. And she is now set up to start her own clothing and accessories shop called House of Maryse, which she hopes to officially start running next summer. Word of warning here, Maryse. Word of warning from the annals of outside wrestling history, okay? Tori Wilson set up a store. Successful for about a year, then it flopped. I advise you take that into account, because it could happen to you. Now, I'm not saying it isn't going to succeed. You adore fashion and all this stuff, and you have the desire and passion to make it a success. No one's ever going to doubt that. But really got to think, will it be a viable success? Will it actually be something that the audience and the demographic of want to appeal to will actually be interested? Because your reputation is quite out there. People know what you are and who you are and what your history is. So it might be a good thing, it might not. But I would take the Tori Wilson situation into consideration just in case. And to be honest, I agree with the fact that you didn't want a 5-year deal. Because WWE like to sign their talent down to long-term contracts to make sure they won't jump ship to total non-stop action. And I think they can't offer you 5 years. I mean, if they were going to offer you anything, I'd say 1.5 to 2 tops. I wouldn't go for 5. So I think WWE lost one of its best assets in terms of looks and in wrestling in the Divas division because they were a bit overzealous in wanting to keep hold of it. And to be honest, Miz, you're bloody lucky to do exactly that. And finally, Rey Mysterio, the catalyst against all my hatred. I hate that sumbitch. You all know that by now. He is hoping to return from his knee injury in time for WrestleMania 28. However, Creative have been talking about him not appearing until after Mania. Now, I said this before when it came out that you're doctors. You would be probably getting outside help, that you shouldn't return when your body isn't ready, and I'll have to say it again, Ray. If your body isn't up to it, why the fuck are you saying you want to return? I know you have the desire, the passion to do this, yeah? But if you get in the ring and your knee fucks up, okay, you're going to be made to look completely stupid. And I normally won't reveal spoilers, but when Randy Orton comes back, maybe at the Rumble, maybe SmackDown sometime, people are saying it's too soon already. Because he still is recovering from a herniated disc in the lower back. Now, this is completely unrelated to Mysterio, but the same concept applies. If your body is not ready, you should not step in the ring, okay? That's why Edge, for his neck injury, took nearly a year out, over a year out. That's why, for Edge's Achilles injury, he wasn't out for the length of time people thought, but he at least was out for enough time to make sure it was healed. Benoit, the same. Even, I would say, Undertaker. Even Stone Cold did it. And you think, you have the desire and passion to be back, or the WWE needs you back for the audience, right? But I wouldn't go too far in saying that you're putting your career at risk by doing this. And you can't wrestle Sin Cara like we all want to, Ray, because he's injured himself as well. And he isn't going to be back for a while. He'll be out for about 8 months. So I would actually ask yourself, Rey Mysterio Jr., I would ask yourself, you should ask yourself this, am I that passionate and that willing to get in the ring that I'm actually willing to put my career on the line for the sake of my fans? I know Mick Foley does it, and that's what he's bloody famous for. But it doesn't really work in the same way for you, Ray, and that's another issue that I don't think you're a believable person. I know you're an underdog and you strive to be better than most people believe you can be, but at the same time, I don't really believe you can get back in time for WrestleMania. I know it's January, there's February, there's March, and then there's April the fucking 1st. That's about 2 months and a day or so. It's cutting it extremely fine, because you also have to be there to build up a feud. I'm sorry, mate, but you are not going to get it done. Simple. It's something that I bet a lot of you are saying at the computer screen or in the comment section saying, you're right, Rey Mysterio is probably a bit nuts trying to do this, but we may have to wait and see what happens. And guys, I'm going to end it right there. And I hope you've enjoyed the 13th in the news bulletin. And I was actually wondering, guys, do you want me to change in the news to another day? Because often somehow I end up missing the Wednesday deadline due to sleep, tiredness, something related to it. And I feel that it may be an issue. So say what you want to do. The comment section is right down there. If you want to comment on anything you've heard in this video, it is down there. And the guys, I'm going to again get the 3 points that I always put across. Add me on Facebook. Search CreamCrazyWR on Skype. And ask me Q&A questions via Skype, Facebook, or a YouTube message. Want to know how? They're down there in the damn description box, if you haven't looked down there already. And guys, I will be back on Saturday for what should be a great video, because if you haven't caught wind of what's coming out this weekend, it's the Royal Rumble! And I actually have not been this excited for a pay-per-view, well, since Money in the Bank. Even though I was excited about TLC. But I love the Rumble every year. And my predictions video will be up on Saturday, because there's no football. Damn you FA Cup. Damn you Ipswich for getting knocked out of the said FA Cup. But nonetheless, I will be here, ready to do my video. And guys, I hope you'll be there for it. Because if you're not looking forward to this year's Rumble, I will be a bit concerned. Because you're probably either too negative, or you just haven't grasped the fact that Road to WrestleMania is about to come back upon us. You know, it's about to start. The tarmac's been laid for the Road to WrestleMania. The car, specially made for said road, has been lowered off its display stand. All we need now is to wait for Sunday, where the dealer can give us the key, and we can stick that thing in the ignition and start this thing. Yeah, I'm getting excited, because it is the best time of the year to be a wrestling fan. And guys, I've been Cream Crazy, you've been people watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and haven't been annoyed by the lateness of it and my sheer enthusiasm. But I will see you guys on Saturday. I hope you'll be there. Cheers.